about this. When I was in the military, I was flying back from Japan. Yeah, I think it was Japan. And from the flight from LA to St. Louis, I got bumped up because they have this thing where if there's space in first class, they will bump up. They have like a range of people that they'll bump up, but because I was flying on military stuff, they asked if I wanted to get bumped up to first class. I'm like, well, yeah, that's awesome. So I sit down, I'm getting myself arranged, I get my book out. Guy sits down next to me, I look over, it's Odysee Smith. I'm like, don't I know you? We got to talking, because what are you going to do on a flight? And I'm sure he's just used to talking to people, but he's like a genuinely kind man. You know, so we talked about me for a little bit, which was strange because he was interested, or at least did a really good job at feigning interest, but I think he was genuinely interested, which was kind of weird. Talking about me working overseas, coming back to see my family, blah, blah, blah. And at that point in time, I knew his son was doing the singing competition thing, so I asked how that was going. And so he was actually coming back from something to do with that. He had gone out to see his son do a show, or like, I guess like the opening at a baseball game or something, like sing the national anthem. And we basically talked about his son. At no point did we ever talk about baseball, which would have been the obvious thing with Odysee Smith, but we never talked about baseball. We talked about me, we talked about his son, and as we're debarking the plane, you know, we're walking through the airport, everybody is like, hey, Ozzy, hey, you know, like yelling at him, because we're in St. Louis now. So if you haven't ever been to St. Louis and spent any considerable amount of time there, one thing St. Louis is all about is their baseball players. That's why most of the baseball players, they will take pay cuts to stay with the Cardinals a lot of the times, because the fans there treat them like royalty. Stan Musial, Odysee Smith, and you know, more recently, you've got sorry, there was like it was getting sketchy on the road, and I wanted to make sure I didn't crash here. What was I saying? Well, more recently, you've got Albert Pujols, who, even though he left for the money, when he comes into St. Louis to play, still gets a standing ovation. Nobody is pissed at him for leaving, which most places would be, you know. So they're totally a baseball town, right? So everybody's flagging him down. Hey, Ozzy, and he's trying to keep up with me, which I felt weird about. Like, I was walking, and he was like, hey, hold on. And I thought he was talking to somebody else. So I kept walking, I turned around, he's looking at me, and I realized he was talking to me. He wanted to walk with me out, which was weird. So, like, I kind of waited for a second, and then he got to talking, and he looked back at me, and I was like, I just kind of shook my head. I was like, it's okay. You know, and he just kind of did that shrug, like, you know, he's got to do this, which I can't really relate to. Obviously, I'm not in his shoes, but it was really cool that he even just wanted to walk out with me. Like, that in and of itself shows like the kind of character or person he is. I was pretty stunned by that. Like, leaving, I was all like, Odysee Smith want to hang out with me? And then I got out of the Metro Link and was reminded of reality, because there's a dude trying to sell me weed. Alright, so I'm up here in the garage. It's like 98-ish. Just got the door handle installed. I've been moving stuff over. Not that I have a whole lot, but I've been doing it in like moves of like a couple totes, because I'm trying to do it all with my car. But I put up tarps because the AC, we got into this heat wave, and the AC was having a hard time keeping this entire room cool. Even though it's for like 400 feet, this is like 500 and some change. So I tarped it off. Kind of a Same idea as I did with the tent in the basement where I had the little AC inside the tent and it was fine. It's cool the inside of the tent. So it's 81 in this small space, and I don't have an AC at my apartment, and it's like 90 something in my apartment. I wasn't planning on moving all the way over here until next week, but the cats they're not happy with the situation at the apartment right now. They want out so they can cool off pretty bad. So I'm going to clean this area up now that I know that this idea works. And I've got that door handle on. So I'm just going to bring them over today, and I'll have to try to get my bed in here, I guess, for right now, today. And I'll start sleeping here like a week early. Oh well. At least it's got AC, you know. So, and I'll just keep moving stuff for the next couple of weeks and cleaning the apartment so that way it's ready for when I turn the key back in. But here we go. Alright, so I got some lights. So it's a little brighter in here. It's not so dreary like it was before. Got spots set up for the bed. And I got an organizer since I don't have a closet anymore. The light in here doesn't work. I tried putting a new bulb in it thinking it was burnt out, but I gotta figure out what's going on with that thing to get the light in here. But since this is going to be the only area really with AC, and setting up my computer stuff there for the meantime. She had these things downstairs. I thought they were cool. I grabbed them. It's moving along slowly. I decided not to get the cats and try to wait one more day because it was hot over there, but it lasted this long, so I think I'm going to wait one more day so I can try to get most of this arranged. Maybe get my mattress over here tomorrow and see how that goes.